What's up guys? Today we've got 1997's Starship Troopers on 4K Blu-ray. I won't get into the plot, but rather discuss the audio and video quality. But before we do that, let's unbox the Steelbook. Now for some quick tech specs. The film was originally released in 1997 and was shot on 35mm. It has a 4K DI, runtime is 129 minutes, aspect ratio is 185:1. So those watching on TVs, you guys will get a full screen image. So for image quality, I found it to be kind of a mixed presentation. Being shot on film, there's a fair bit of noticeable film grain. Brightly lit scenes, like the first day at boot camp on Chapter 4, look sharp and like they were filmed yesterday. There's a close-up shot of Dizzy's face in Chapter 4 that was super crisp, and you can make out the individual strands of peach fuzz hair on her face. The practical bug effects were detailed and even seemed realistic at times. The CGI bugs were also cleaner and held up really well and blended in with the live action seamlessly. Other effects like the bug that Rico blew up in Chapter 10 were clearly digital and cartoony looking. Some of the more problematic scenes occurred in dim environments. Most of the interior scenes were very grainy and very noisy, very reminiscent of Batman vs Superman. So if you hated the grain in that, you'll most likely hate this one too. HDR definitely brings out the pop of colors in this film. All the blood and gore is now vibrant with deeper red hues. Flesh tones are more natural and explosions and gunshot flares shine much brighter than on the regular Blu-ray. A good standout scene to check out is going to be in Chapter 8, when the bugs are shooting their plasma at the Federation ships. The blue plasma and explosions are rich and a lot more saturated over the standard Blu-ray. But one thing I did notice is there were often times I thought bright highlights were a bit overblown, like when the sun was reflecting off faces. So you may find yourself reaching for the remote control to turn down the contrast. Black levels, like those exterior space shots, were darker and deeper. And although most of the low-lit scenes were grainy, there was still a good amount of low-level shadow detail visible. Now I remember back in the early days of DVD and surround sound, this was the go-to disc to demo your system. The film now gets an updated Dolby Atmos mix, and it's a big improvement over the previous 5.1 track. Soundstage is more expansive right from the start of the film and sounded much more precise and detailed. Any of the bug battle scenes fill the entire room with scattering footsteps of bugs, and in Chapter 11, the flying bugs can be heard flying from the rear of the room and up top over your head. Directional sounds were much more accurate, and the musical score was sharper and more immersive and often spread to the high channels. Bass response had good low-end rumble during any of the spaceship scenes, and explosions and gunshots had a wonderful tactile feel. This is a definite improvement over the previous mix. So for audio, I'd have to give it an 8.5. I can see myself still playing back many of the battle scenes just to show off my system. For video, I'd have to go with an 8. There's a noticeable increase in detail and color information over the regular Blu-ray, so much that I think it makes it a worthy investment even if you already own the regular Blu-rays. But if you hate film grain, you may want to stay clear. Now if you enjoyed this review and you're interested in buying this movie, I left a link in the description down below. Give us a thumbs up and comment, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys again in the next review.